NBA fans, May 12th can't get here soon enough so we know when our favorite teams are drafting. Let's go. Till then, let's do one more mock draft. What is up, NBA fans? Shout out to my San Antonio Spurs fans. Welcome to TSR Sports, and I caught Bleacher Report did another mock, this time with lottery simulation, and in this mock draft, it sends Cooper Flagg to the Eastern Conference. The Wizards, the Hornets, you'd think one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference. So this is going to be a live reaction to how their draft plays out. Of course, as a Spurs fan, I'll have very vested interest with our own pick and the Atlanta Hawks pick, and actually the Atlanta Hawks pick too, which they own the Sacramento Kings pick. So if the Kings jump up to, oh gosh, this better not be the Atlanta Hawks getting the first overall pick. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the schmuck draft. Where is Cooper Flagg going? To the Charlotte Hornets. Okay. I don't think he would be very excited about that, but Hornets fans certainly would be. I actually, that would be kind of cool to see a franchise that's been decimated with injuries last year with Ball, and I'm forgetting the other guy, the young guy they drafted 2 years ago, is playing real well. Shoot. He was like a top 3 pick in Wendy's draft. Why can't I pull his name? But bringing in Cooper Flagg with him and Ball, Charlotte could be a very exciting team next year if this happened, and seeing a team again that struggled for many, many years, maybe turn things around like the Detroit Pistons have. I think, yeah, okay, I'd be on board with this. All right, Coop, number 1. The Philadelphia 76ers jump up to number 2, which that would mean the Oklahoma City Thunder would not get their pick. The Thunder do own their first-round pick, but it is top 6 protected. And the 76ers draft Dylan Harper. Okay. Who got number 3? The Washington Wizards, and they take Ace Bailey. All right. So as a Spurs fan, and I know I got Spurs fans watching, this is our last chance to jump into the top 4. And it is not going to be us. The New Orleans Pelicans get VJ Edgecombe. And speaking of teams that were decimated by injuries, the 76ers, the Pelicans, they were both projected to be playoff teams this season. But my goodness, the 76ers and Joel Embiid, he just can't stay healthy to save his life anymore. And the Pelicans, it was just one injury after another. And then you're always going to have the giant question mark hanging over Zion Williamson's head. Can he stay healthy for a whole season? That is the Pelican. That could be scary. There's also the question mark with DeJounte Murray tearing his Achilles. Is he going to be back on time next season? All right, we're out of the winners, if you will, the top 4. So now it's going to play out as expected. Worst record will be number 5, and so forth and so on. The Utah Jazz. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about the Utah Jazz, the team that was in full tank mode pretty much, since the All-Star break? Pulls the Detroit Pistons. Sorry, Pistons fans, if you're watching, but we saw the Pistons, I think not once, but twice, drop from number 1 overall. They were rejected to be the number 1 pick, worst team in the NBA, and they fell back to 5, I think 2 years in a row. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. The Jazz do it themselves here. They drop from number 1 to number 5. So the play like poop for Coop did not work for them. And they draft Jeremiah Fears, a very good player, of course, number 5 overall, but I'm sure Jazz fans would be incredibly disappointed if they dropped at number 5. And to add injury to insult, the Utah Jazz, I believe, have never had a first overall pick. So this is a Jazz fan's worst nightmare right here, this playing out. All right, moving up or down. Brooklyn Nets take number 6, and they draft they draft some Mountain Dew, apparently. They draft Trey Johnson out of Texas. Number 7, the Toronto Raptors, Con Knippel at, okay, so this is a little bit of a change-up. As a Spurs fan, I have seen Con Knippel mocked to the San Antonio Spurs many times. However, I've been hearing he's been moving up draft boards the last few weeks, and this would be a case of him moving up because the Spurs, I believe, are picking 8th in this mock. I don't think anybody leapfrogged us. So Con Knippel off the board. So Spurs fans, who are we taking at 8? Newell, Malawach, Queen? I'm going to say they have us draft Derek Queen. I've read from a lot of you guys. You think he would be a bit of a better fit than Malawach. So I'm going to say they have the Spurs take Derek Queen at number 8. Or I could totally blow it because the freaking Bleacher Report has us taking a shooting guard. What we don't need. We need shooting, but we need size. We need length. We need girth. Oh, I want to swear, but what the? the last time I did a Bleacher Report mock draft, I definitely had I was scratching my head on who he had us drafting. And now that I honestly don't know a lot about him because I have not seen him mocked to the San Antonio Spurs ever. Ever. Pro comp, Derek White, okay. The 6'3", okay, stop right there. The 6'3" Richardson, no. Yeah, I know his dad played in the NBA. I am taller than him, no. The Spurs better not draft anybody that is shorter than me. So this is a huge no for me. Unless the dude's shooting 50% from three, which I don't see anywhere in his write-up that he's a... maybe you guys can let me know if this would be a good pick, but taking a small player... Okay, I'm out. The Houston Rockets, Kasparis Jakishionis, is that how we say it? I have no idea. From the Phoenix Suns, that's right, the Rockets hold the Phoenix Suns pick, so one of the best teams in their Western Conference gets a lottery pick. That is just scary when you see that happen. I believe the Thunder, the best team in the Western Conference, I think they have the 15th pick overall. I think. I could be wrong. Pick number 10 goes to the Portland Trailblazers. They take Carter Bryant, okay, out of Arizona. The Dallas Mavericks. So, interesting. Kamen Malawach drops to number 11 in this particular mock draft. I generally have seen him mocked usually in the top 6. And as a Spurs fan, drafting 8th, as a player I'm interested, just did a video about him yesterday. I don't know if the fit would work, but a lot of who I've read online, if you will, and things I've read about him have him going way before we even get to pick him at 8. And in this mock, he actually drops to number 11 to the Dallas Mavericks. Which is weird, because don't they have a plethora of bigs already? I'm not an expert on the Mavericks. Anthony Davis, of course. Derek Lively. For another favors. Like, don't they have a lot of bigs already? Do they need another center? Am I missing something? All right, I don't know. Okay. I only follow the Mavericks when they play the Spurs, and of course I caught them in the finals last year. But aren't they set on? I'm still perplexed. Aren't they set on bigs? Duh, Bulls. All right, so the bigs go back to back at 11 and 12 in this mock draft, with the Chicago Bulls taking Derek Queen out of Maryland. Okay, that is one I've seen. A possibility. Rounding out the lottery in a moment, the Atlanta Hawks via the Sacramento Kings take Nolan Traore, a point guard. I mean, he would be a backup. He's not starting over Trae Young. Dyson Daniels starting at the 2. I mean, at this point, you're drafting backups. You're not drafting starters. So I don't know the Hawks' needs. I guess this makes sense. And last but not least, the San Antonio Spurs at 14. I'm going to say Rasheer Fleming because size, shooting, gives us a little bit of it, checks a little of the boxes. San Antonio Spurs, no. We've been down this road before. I don't want another Colin on the team. Thank you, but no. I read up on CMB. Yeah, he's a fine player, but he's a 6'7" power forward that I believe he can't shoot was also in his write-up. This, I think you guys have said, a comp to him would be kind of a Jeremy Sohan 2.0. And I do like Jeremy. Contrary to belief, I do like Jeremy, and I'm rooting for Jeremy Sohan on the Spurs, but we don't need a second version of him. And a shorter version of him. Okay, as a Spurs fan, this mock draft sucks and blows. That's all I'm going to say on that. I just want to take a peek at the 15th pick. Was that the Thunder? It was. Noah Essingu, power forward. Okay, I mean, that would bring in some size in. Yeah, sure, why not? I don't have a thumbnail to put up because I was about to hit the thumbnail. I was like, I don't have a thumbnail because I'm doing a live reaction to this. I just hit me. So we'll put Coop up at number 1, going to the Charlotte Hornets. All right, to the Spurs fans, and if you're not a Spurs fan hanging out, certainly all teams fans are welcome. Certainly try to push that on the channel and promote that on the channel. Your thoughts on this mock draft? As a Spurs fan, I absolutely hate it. And there's certainly some, seeing the Spurs draft a shooting guard at 8. I probably would swear live on stream if that did happen. I'm sure I'll drop some F-bombs because that's the last thing this team needs. It needs shooting for sure, but not from guys that are shorter than me. And he hasn't been measured at the combine. He could be, 6'2", because they all do these weird things with shoes. They probably measure their hair, too. Who the heck knows? That would be an absolute miss. And then CMB with the second pick. I'm not sold on that. I'd rather take Rasheer Fleming, Danny Wolf. I don't see this mock draft playing out like that for the Spurs. For the other teams, there were some surprises. The Mavericks is the one that I have the biggest question mark on. And I know I have a Mavericks subscriber, so I know you're watching. Well, a few for that matter, but I know one particular that comments on every video. I don't think you guys need a big, do you? Am I missing something? Am I forgetting something with the Mavericks roster? Would they take a center with their lottery pick? I don't think so, but if I'm wrong, of course, let me know. And of course, fans of the other teams, what do you think? Do you like the picks, or are you just like Bleacher Report? You're just throwing stuff at the dartboard again? And obviously Hornets fans will like the picks, but if you're just throwing stuff at the dartboard again, and none of these picks make sense. So drop a comment down below, hit the thumbs up, like Sports channel, and subscribe to become part of our awesome sports community. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs go.
Go Spurs go, 'cause